All right, y'all. The big one. That's what they're trying to promote it as. Who knows? Does look serious. Probably category 4 going to be when it hits the ground, when it makes landfall. We're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to have live coverage. And we're going to ask the question, was this all natural? Or could this have been manipulated? Y'all ain't ready for this. All right, welcome into the big picture. You know the drill. You know the drill. Smash it. Smash it. Let me try and find me a good sound effect. That's not it. That's not it. Is this it? That's it. Smash the like button. Smash it. Have too much fun with my toys here. Okay. Smash it, smash it, smash it, y'all. Probably scared all your dogs and your cats to death. Sorry about that. Don't get mad at me. Don't be a hater. Give us some love. Give us some love. Watch on Facebook. Remember, I don't know how many times I got to tell you this, Facebook people. Y'all just love the Facebook. Love to scroll, sit there for a few seconds, come back and all that. You just love to just stay there in that little Facebook world. Need to get out of that Facebook world and go over to YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. Follow us over there because everything's not on Facebook. And everything's, quite frankly, not even on YouTube. Most everything, 99% is. There are going to be some things that are on Rumble. Go follow us on Rumble. But tonight we're going to give you some update information on the hurricane that is about to make landfall in a couple of hours. It's going to come through, I think, around 9 p.m., something like that. But it's a Category 4 at the time of this live recording, and they're believing that it's going to be a Category 3 when it makes landfall and possibly a Category 4. Now, they are calling this an unsurvivable storm. Now, look, they always come up with terms to get clicks, to get views, but we've had some really serious hurricanes over the years, and I don't remember them using this term. Florida braces for monster storm Helene as unsurvivable, in quotations, because this is what some of the officials are saying. Category 4 hurricane packing 130 miles per hour. It's late, y'all. Winds expected to slam into the Gulf Coast within hours. Hurricane Helene is set to strike Florida's Gulf Coast within hours, threatening an unsurvivable storm surge that would leave catastrophic damage and could deluge cities and swallow homes. Helene could roar ashore as a Category 4 hurricane by tonight with wind gusts up to 130 miles an hour. After spending days strengthening in the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, the National Hurricane Center warned. Forecasters predict Helene could bring storm surges up to 20 feet. 6 meters, don't know why you'd need to know 6 meters unless you live around the world, and many of you do live around the world, so I guess you do need to know that. But in here in America, we're stubborn. We're never changing. We're not going to the metrics. 20 feet, and warned that they would particularly be catastrophic and life-threatening in Florida's Appalachia Bay. Governor Ron DeSantis declared a state of emergency ahead of storm's revival. I got revival on my mind. Arrival. Can't talk tonight. The storm may also bring heavy rain, damaging winds, and flash floods hundreds of miles inland across much of the southeastern United States. This is amazing. The chilling warnings have sent residents scrambling for higher ground, closed schools, and led states to declare emergencies across the southeast. Now look at this. It's just really strange how it's curving like this, how they're predicting it. Now, of course, they don't know it 100%, but they get pretty close to this. So they're saying, according to this map here, Thursday, today, 7 a.m. this morning, it was a Category 2, 109 miles an hour, and at 7 p.m., I'm imagining that's Eastern time, which would have been 6 p.m. an hour ago, it was a Category 4 at 132 miles an hour, and you can see just off the coast there. And it's going to come straight through what they call the Big Bend in Florida. You see the the red area there. That's called the Big Bend of Florida. And then it's going to go straight up into Georgia, just barely skirting into my home state, Alabama. But it's going to go up into Georgia. And by Friday, tomorrow at 7 a.m., there's going to be tropical storm force winds of 57 miles per hour or higher as far as North Georgia. And then we get into Tennessee, Kentucky, and some other states on Friday and Saturday, even into Arkansas. High winds, but more than anything, flooding rains. It's going to be serious no matter what, y'all. So, I mean, some of this video that's coming out is just crazy. See if we can watch this. I mean, this was earlier today, before it ever became a Category 4. Who are these people? Who are these people driving on this road? What are the... This looks like CGI. This don't even look real. I mean, comment and let me know, would you do that? Some of you live in Florida, and some of you just, you just deal with this kind of stuff, but we don't know how to deal with this up here. If that was you, would you want to do that? Would you want your family members driving on that? Look at the water. I'm assuming that may be a bay, ocean or what, but Lord, that looks scary. But yeah, that's what's going on right now. And of course, people are boarding up. They're getting ready for this big attack. Hey, Jude, pull your britches up, dude. You on camera. There's Ron DeSantis. And let's hear what old Ron DeSantis. Let's tell you what, let's jump in here and watch a little bit of Fox weather here and see what they're saying about it. This is live, by the way.
Look with the satellites that we look at night, the infrared satellites, where we're actually looking at the temperature of the clouds way up in the atmosphere.
Hang on just a second.
That the storm is slightly tilted, so that we're with the eye that we.
I'm gonna do this here so I don't get
or the center
hit by
that we track down
the wonderful
the surface
strike.
of the ocean. So it's the surface center that actually defines what the center of the hurricane is. So that's why you see the line there going to the north, and the apparent eye on the satellite a little to the right. Yes.
So it looks like the eye is coming in between Apalachicola and Cedar Key in the Gainesville area. And it looks like it's going to go right through Tallahassee. So now this eye, if you've been following it today, has been coming and going. It's been strange. I've been watching Fox Weather, and they've been a little befuddled here on what's going on with this eye. It seems like it's a little strange situation.
Yes, territory. I mean, Hurricane Sandy was giant, and all it was 944, and I thought, wow, that's a mind-blowingly low pressure for that wind speed. So 940 or something like that would support higher winds than 130. So we'll see if this organizes. The fact that it's a little tilted might keep it from intensifying too much, and that energy might spread out into this huge hurricane. All right.
Let's jump over here and let's see what Ron DeSantis was saying today. Ron DeSantis, governor of the state of Florida, headline is tens of thousands of linemen are ready for Hurricane Helene. Man, these guys are warriors, man. Tens of thousands of linemen are already there and ready to respond to Hurricane Helene, which is expected to make landfall in northern Florida on Thursday evening. In a press conference Thursday morning, the governor went over the current state of the storm barreling towards Florida, noting that it is expected to make landfall sometime this evening. While at the same time, at the time of his press conference, Hurricane Helene was a Category 2. He said it's possible the storm could make landfall as a major hurricane, Category 3, or even possibly a Category 4. He said it's moving fast. More rainfall is, of course, expected, and it could lead to significant storm surge in our coastal areas. And we are prepared for that, of course. And we'll see what happens in the terms of intensification. I think that these things can rapidly intensify. Sometimes they become major. Sometimes there's changes. So we're just going to continue to do our thing and assume that it's going to be a major hurricane when it makes landfall, the governor said, emphasizing that the storm is very large. Therefore, tropical weather will go hundreds of miles away from the center of the storm. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a hurricane Category 3 winds on the east coast of Florida, but you're going to have tropical conditions. And of course, these are, the linemen are down there. And this is the part that makes it dangerous. Hey, Ricky's in the house. I'm looking over here. I'm seeing that Ricky's in the house. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Ricky? There he is. The man, the myth, the legend, always giving us great information about what's going on in the world. It will likely be dark by the time the storm passes. Do not try to do any work in the dark. You don't know what the hazards are out there. So when it comes through, it's going to be in the dark, y'all. And that's just like here with us. We deal with tornadoes is our main thing here. And we don't ever want to see a tornado, but we certainly don't want to see a major tornado come through and when it's dark, and especially late at night when people are asleep, because we have seen major catastrophes happen because of that. Now let's check back in real quick with the live feed here and see if we can get something else. And I'm going to change this filter. By the way, when you see me changing these filters, it's so crazy that we have to do this, because if we don't do this, especially if we're covering something live, they get mad at us, and they send us nasty little letters. Ricky knows all about it. Me and him talk about it all the time. I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to show y'all some of the one. This right here. Let's do this one. Yeah, this will be a good one. I'm going to show y'all what I have to do to navigate this. Let's do an old movie. Yeah, let's watch a hurricane with an old movie filter, and we can show that we altered it. Look at that, y'all. Wow, it's taking me back in time. But I'll change that when we go back again. But Florida is making landfall just hours from now. Let's see what they're having to say here.
It's like things are letting up there for a moment. They're in between bands. That strong band that was in earlier has moved inland there just a little bit. All right, here's the latest wind gust. St. Petersburg, look, up to 67, 64 at the PIE airport. That's St. Petersburg Clearwater International. And 62 down here at Sarasota. The winds have finally switched now, so they're coming from the south. So that still is not the direction that drives the water into Tampa Bay and up against all those beaches there. But as we've always seen, the water is rising there dramatically. Up to 4 feet now above normal high tide, flooding in Fort Myers Beach, heading for moderate flood at Naples. That's at Naples Pier there, right along the beaches. 4.8 above normal high tide Clearwater Beach. Look at all these going up now, heading for 4 feet.
Wow, it's getting bad, y'all.
Because the tide is coming in. That is not because the storm is pushing the water in, Jane. So we have both things going on, and unfortunately, both are going to happen at the same time. Right? The tide is just plain old tide coming.
Now I take this very, very seriously. Sorry about that. Take this very, very seriously. When you take a storm like this, it's dangerous. It's life-threatening. So, but you guys, you know that we've been here before. That they love to hype things up, and then maybe it don't turn out to be the way it is. Keep in mind now, and like I said, I'm by no means am I belittling the seriousness of this, but this was forecasted to be one of the worst hurricane seasons ever in the history of humanity since they've been recording it. And just a couple of weeks ago, they had to update that and say that it missed the mark big time. So they were expecting by this time to have multiple major hurricanes due to the religion that's out there, where people worship the trees, worship the the creation more than the creator. You know what I'm talking about, that religion. It goes by a letter green. But boy, I tell you, this is a very serious storm. This is a life-threatening storm. This is, and I'm going to just play it without sound in the background while we're talking here. This is a life-threatening storm, but at the same time, they are salivating over themselves. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed how they all got that guy? I'm standing out here in the middle of the hurricane. The winds are pummeling me. I could barely stand up. And then all of a sudden, this dude walks behind them in the video going, "What's up? Hi, Mom." Well, it wasn't like that today, but it was. And it was, this one guy was standing on the beach and waves were coming in on the beach. And guess what? Several surfers were going in and out of the water and waving at the camera as they were going by. And that guy was just like, "I don't know if you can hear me." Like I said, I'm not belittling the situation. I know it's very, very serious. It's life-threatening. But you also know how they play this up. I mean, this is money for them. I get it. Y'all, now we're going to come back throughout this broadcast tonight. I don't know how long I'll go, but I want to also insert a few other things here that we need to talk about when it comes to this hurricane. Did y'all remember that we are, I think, 4 days away from a major strike that is going to happen with port workers? And guess where they're at? The Gulf of Mexico and the East Coast. So let's look at this article here and let's talk about this aspect, and then we'll go back and check on the status of the hurricane. But 4 days from now, port strike is set to close all East Coast and Gulf Coast ports. A looming strike by roughly 45,000 unionized dock workers at seaports on the East and Gulf Coast could begin next week and disrupt shipments of a variety of products. Buy what you need now. Okay, so 1/2 of the seaborne imports in the United States are shipped through the 36 ports that would be impacted by a strike that may begin on October 1st. It would be the first strike by the International Longshoremen's Association, which represents the port workers since 1977. The union in the U.S. Maritime Alliance, which represents port employers, are at an impasse over wages and a new contract. And as of Sunday, talks between both parties appear to be in a standstill, with each issuing statements about the impasse. So let's go back and look at this headline. 4 days from now, port strike to close all East Coast and Gulf Coast ports. Now y'all can sort of feel it. You can feel it. Can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Can you feel it? Can you feel the tinfoil hat sliding upon the head of a Larry? You may not see it, but it is sliding upon my head ever so gently. Now, as we move towards thinking about the timing, okay, I know before y'all go crazy here, okay, I know that hurricanes have been going on ever since the world's been going on. And we all have memories of major hurricanes. We know how they form. We know they form off the coast of Africa. We know how they come. That's why we have seasons. But y'all, we're not in a regular season right now. We are, at the time of this live recording, you may be watching this days afterwards. You may be watching this after the hurricane's done dissipated into just a heavy rainfall up in Kentucky and going up through Ohio and different places like that. And then we're dealing with the aftermath and the rebuilding and what happened to the destruction. And you're watching this. So whenever you're watching this, I want to remind you that right now, tonight, live, it is September 26th. Y'all, I'm not 100% sure, but I think we're something around 40 days or a little bit less than 40 days to the election. We know every 4 years there's something called an October surprise. I have been telling you there are multiple events. Call them black swan events. Call them psyops. Call them anything you want to call them. But I'm telling you right now, they are not waiting till October this year. They've already had multiple. Think of the things that we have lived through already. Attempted assassinations. We have gone through, we found out today that his plane was threatened. We found out that, did you know this? Sidebar from tonight's discussion. Did you know the only reason that there was counter snipers at the Pennsylvania rally in Butler? It was the only outdoor event where there was counter snipers. Of all the ones that Trump has had this year, the Secret Service never had counter snipers until that one. Of course, there's the tinfoil hat of why that is the case. But this is the narrative that they're saying is because they were there because strong intelligence had told them, and now they're revealing it, that Iran was planning to take him out in that rally because they knew that was going to be his last rally before the convention. So, think about all that we've gone through. Biden stepping down. Kamala, here she is. What is she doing? She don't want to talk to anybody. She's just saying nothing, answering nothing, giving nothing, going to float right into the White House in her mind. While all that's going on, we got Zelensky over here this week kissing people, and I better watch what I'm saying. I'm live tonight. Got councilmen signing missiles, signing bombs. All of them are Democrats. Giving him money. All this is going on. We got the thing going on with Diddy. Did he or did he not? Where's my rim shot? I don't have my rim shot. That would have been good. Did it? How about this one? Did he or didn't he? I think he did. But so what? Why all these distractions are going on? Now we got ports that are going to be closed that happen to be right in the path of a Category 4 hurricane. Then you have the oil fields. Y'all know what happens when a hurricane hits the Gulf Coast. Every single time, what happens? Gas prices go through the roof. Right? Gas prices go through the roof because they shut down the rigs out of protection for the rigs. Even if they're not even touched, gas prices are affected every single time one comes into the Gulf. So you have this conglomerate. You have this very real, very dangerous storm that could possibly make landfall as a Category 4, and that's major destruction. That's why they're calling it an unsurvivable event. You know, you're out there in it, chances are you're not going to survive. Now, there are certain buildings that you could survive it in, but they're saying if you're standing out there and that storm surge comes in, the way they're predicting it, you can't survive that. Okay. So it's a very real, horrible event that's happening tonight. Then you have the plans to shut down the ports, which is where most of our goods are, which is what is it going to do? Skyrocket prices. Then you have the oil rigs that are going to be shut down. What is it going to do? Skyrocket gas prices. And that's just in September. What's coming in October? Y'all, it's crazy what is happening. Now, which leads me in my tinfoil hat to, should I go there? Should I go there? Bueller, should I go there? I think I'm going to go there. All I'm doing is asking a question. I'm not making a statement. I'm just asking a question. Is it possible that weather can be manipulated? I'm waiting on your answer. I'm not going to answer the question. I'm going to let my face answer the question, my facial expression. Is it possible to manipulate weather? If you're listening, you missed it. That was a very telling facial expression. So let's look at this right here. Now, this is an opinion piece from this website called The Burning Platform. All I'm doing is going to read it, and I'm going to tell you that the people that I follow and just the algorithm has put this multiple times in front of me today. Sandy and I have had this discussion today. So I'm just going to ask a question, and I want your response in the live chat, and I'm asking for your response in the comment section if you're watching the replay. What you think about it? Can hurricanes be manipulated? Can they be steered? Some people don't necessarily believe they can be created, but that we have the ability to steer them once they are there where we want them to go, where we want the destruction to go. So this person, and this is not my words, I'm just reading this and I'm asking a question. Operation Hurricane Helene. The so-called launches vicious geo-terrorist attack. Make him come here, buddy. Hang on. AJ's coming in here. Maybe AJ come see. Hang on. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here. Y'all want to see AJ? Come here. You don't want to get up here. AJ. That's my buddy. Y'all can't see him. Yeah. Did you hear me talking? You had to come see me? Yeah, that's my buddy. Sorry, y'all. Hadn't been able to spend a lot of time with my buddy lately because of what's going on in my family. You okay? All right. I got a show to do. You want to come up here? Come here. Come here, y'all. Y'all see him? There he is. AJ. Hey, AJ. Everybody's looking at you, AJ. There he is. There's my buddy. There's my buddy. That's my buddy right there. All right, tell everybody bye. Tell everybody bye. Okay. Gotta get back to my show. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Tied up my microphone. There you go. Sorry about that. All right. Hope that was okay. My buddy needed attention, y'all. Okay, maybe I needed a breather anyway. Operation Hurricane Helene, NWO launches vicious geoterror attack against Florida. Why now? Okay, this is a question that this person is asking, okay? So he wrote an open letter to the governor. And this is what he says. This is one of several open letters we have written to you about the extremely dire predicament known as weaponized weather attacks, which the state of Florida is again facing in the form of the geoengineered Hurricane Helene. Here's a previous letter that we sent to you 2 years ago, just before the highly weaponized Hurricane Ian ravaged the state of Florida quite deliberately before Election Day. In point of fact, every single member of the Florida legislature has been made aware of the stark reality that the once sunshine state has been unrelentingly geoengineered via various chemical geoengineering technologies into the chem cloud cover state. To the point now we see yet another transparently geoengineered superstorm barreling right towards Tallahassee. Transparent because the meticulous man-made development of Hurricane Helene, from its very inception onward, has all the signatures of a manufactured Frankenstorm. This is his words. Did you know, Governor DeSantis, that Helene was first predicted the day after you did this? DeSantis signs order expediting investigation into Trump's assassination attempt, expects attempted unaliving charges, in order to see the hard evidence which conclusively proves that the timing of Hurricane Helene was precisely executed as a threat to you and to your administration. Please consult the following link. These are not my words. These are not necessarily my thoughts. But my mind goes there now. And I think that the world has made my mind go there. I am now at the place where I never thought I would ever be. I've not always been this way. Y'all, I've not always been the conspiracy mind guy. I've not always had the tinfoil hat on. I came kicking and screaming. I'm a hopeful person. I'm not, y'all watch this channel, y'all think I'm a doom and gloom guy. I am an optimistic, life-giving person. That's what I've always been. So I push back against the thought that this could be possible. But y'all, I'm beginning to believe that not only is it possible, I believe it's probable. Now, am I saying that Hurricane Helene has been steered to go up Big Bend, to go up through Georgia and all this? I don't know, but one of the biggest swing states that could decide the election is Georgia. And boy, I tell you what, we've seen before when disasters happen and all of a sudden the government and the current administration begins to come in and write checks and make commitments and show up in their bomber jackets or whatever kind of weather jacket, rainproof jackets, and they're all out there and they're standing on the mountain and they're of rubble saying, we're going to rebuild this thing. And we got this coming to you. You got a check coming in the mail and all of this. We've seen it turn elections. It's just a thought that this was not the path. And at the last minute, that thing just turned, major turned. And isn't it interesting that it just takes this weird path? It's not a common path, right through the state of Georgia. Things that make you go, So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts down below? Do you believe that there could be something known as Operation Hurricane Helene? Well, Maybe. Let's jump back in here. They're at commercial break right now. We'll go back in a minute and see what they're saying about the hurricane. And while we're waiting on that, let's play a little bit of this video. Now, this is probably going to get me in serious trouble, so I'm going to try my best to stay out of trouble, which is very hard here lately.
They control the weather. They mine the oceans. They control volcanoes. They control earthquakes. We are now witnessing the greatest transition in the history of the human race. Transition from type 0 to type 1. The generation now alive is privileged to see the birth pangs of the birth of a new civilization.
And Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez has once again accused the United States of playing God. But this time it's Haiti's disastrous earthquake that he thinks the U.S. was behind. Spanish newspaper ABC quotes Chavez as saying that the U.S. Navy launched a weapon capable of inducing a powerful earthquake off the shore of Haiti. He adds that this time it was only a drill, and the final target is destroying and taking over Iran. The existence of a tectonic weapon has never been proved, but its use is often suspected.
Last year, I confronted Heizo Takenaka, the former Japanese finance minister, over why he handed over control.
So the purpose of this video was to show that it's not just hurricanes. It's storms, it's earthquakes, it's many different things. Let's watch a little bit more.
Told by the Japanese security police that because of what I had said on places like Rents.com, that Niigata City was going to be hit by an earthquake.
So do you believe it? Do you believe that? Let's look at this right here.
That was too much of a coincidence for me. So I started doing research and found out
possibly modify weather, and finally to lift a portion of the upper atmosphere further out into space. I chose what's called a phased array antenna for the patents because it can be aimed. Picture holding your microwave oven in your hands with the door open. Then you can move it around and send those microwaves different directions. And for these applications where I wanted precise control of where the power was, I felt that was the best type of antenna to use. And that is the kind that HARP has built.
HARP can paint designs in the sky, if you will. You know, it can take the beam and move it in any pattern that the scientist who's doing an experiment might want to do.
All right. So, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts? I mean, this is not. I'm not implying. Please understand. I want to make it very clear. I'm not implying that this is in play with Hurricane Helene. But I'm just asking the question because I got a feeling that this is not going to be the last event that is weather related, earth related. That could be. We could ask the question: was this natural? Did this happen because of natural purposes, or was this weaponized? I just think it's interesting that we had Irene come through right before the election midterms, and now we have this hurricane coming through, and it's coming right through Georgia. And I'm telling you, what I was thinking about today, and it may just be completely coincidental, but you better mark my word on this. No matter what the damage is, whether it's from storm surge, whether it's from wind or heavy rains and flooding, when it leaves Georgia, you better know this. The candidates will be in Georgia. This current administration will start stroking checks, making speeches, and more than likely, you might get Kamala Harris to actually take a few questions as she's standing out in front of disaster from the hurricane, saying our administration will do everything we can to help the people of Georgia because we are here for the people of Georgia. Y'all, I'm telling you right now, that's coming. That's coming. All right, let's jump back in here and let's check on the situation with Fox Weather here, see what the latest is on the hurricane.
A look at some of the conditions out of Tallahassee, Florida, as they await really the brunt of this storm. And you can see the floodwaters already. The Panhandle has been dealing with flooding rains over the last several hours. And unfortunately, the worst is still to come for Florida's capital city. That's where we find Fox weather meteorologist Kiana Lewis. Kiana, how are things looking out there for you right now? I mean, the dark of night, we've been talking about this, ramping up. That's what the impacts are going to be when we look down the road the next few hours.
Absolutely. I mean, Jane, just a couple of minutes ago, we didn't have this rain that we have now. So it just speaks to the ebb and flow of how those outer bands are coming through. And then we may catch a bit of a break, and then they come through with a heavier downpour. And that's what we're getting now. Thankfully, the winds, while we'll have these gusts up to sometimes 25, near 30 miles per hour, they're not as significant as they are expected to be heading into later tonight. So that's certainly something that I think a lot of folks are taking advantage of at this hour. We know that going into the 9, 10, 11 o'clock hour, that's all going to change as we head closer and closer towards that landfall. I noticed that we had a little bit of a shift to the east. That makes all of the difference in terms of the center of the storm. So that's something that, of course, we're going to continue to watch as well. But in terms of the...
So there's more of a shift to the east than what they were saying earlier. What does that necessarily mean? I think it's an even more evidence that it's shifting. Georgia's about to have a major event. And I saw in the live chat, yes, I do believe Ricky is from Georgia. So we're praying for Brother Ricky from End Time Headlines. And if he's still on here, we want to let everybody know that we're praying for him and everybody that's in Georgia. We're praying for everybody that's in this path. Alabama's just going to barely skirt it where I live, the way it's predicted now. But Florida and Georgia are going to take the brunt of the major hit. The Big Bend area. We'll go back to this map here that we showed earlier, right here. This is where it is predicted to make landfall at this time. Now they're saying it's taken a slightly more eastern turn than when this map was made, which means a direct hit on Georgia and possibly more of South Carolina, and as it turns towards Tennessee. But Georgia is in the path major, no matter what, right now. And the Big Bend is that red area there in the Florida, right below the Florida Panhandle. That's where it's supposed to hit, which is around Tallahassee in that area. And it's going to go up through Georgia. And it's going to be a lot of flooding rains, a lot of serious moments right now, y'all. This is life-threatening. They're literally in the press conferences calling it an unsurvivable event if you get caught in the storm surge.
But trees falling, that's a big concern up in near Tallahassee. So we're going to be following you all night. Kiana Lewis, thank you for the report there in Tallahassee. All right, let's get you a big picture here to Tampa.
Big picture.
Following along with
Did y'all
the
hear that?
floodwaters and the surge in the Tampa Bay, out on St. Pete, Clearwater. I mean, this storm has so many impacts. There's phase 1, which is what we're going through right now along the coast, awaiting that landfall, which is going to come in about the next 2 to 3 hours as we look ahead
into big storm.
The early overnight time frame. But we're also watching these outer bands, and phase 2 is as Helene makes landfall and then races up through Georgia and in.
Man, look at that. It is like dead, headed right into that great Big Bend, and it is going straight for Georgia. The whole state of Georgia is almost already covered in rain, but it is about to be covered in the entire width of that hurricane. If, obviously the eye will die off at some point after it makes landfall, but it will continue to swirl, and it looks like Georgia is literally going to be, the entire state is going to be covered by at least hurricane force winds. Wow. People of Georgia, wow, we got to really pray for them. So, all right, let's go back to our conspiracy theory question. I can't wait to go back in and watch the live chat. Love to watch the live chat. I can't watch the live chat, but I love to go back and read the live chat. And I try to read all the comments. And let me just tell you, we are growing. Our channel is growing like crazy. So it's very, it's impossible for me to reply like I did in the early days to every comment. But I try to read almost every comment. It may take me, I may read your comment 2 or 3 days later because there's so many comments on our shows, which we thank God for. but I want you to know that your comments matter to us. Sandy and I read them, and we read every word of the live chat. Every show that we are live and we have a live chat, we go back and read every single word of that. So just know that when you're in the live chat, we're watching it and we're reading it, and we appreciate it. Now, I'm going to go back to it in just a moment, but I'm going to just ask you if you'd like to partner with us. We sure would appreciate it. So watch this, and I'll be back in 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at larryragland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are certainly awake, y'all. Let's jump back in here, because while we was doing the commercial there, I noticed he was giving this updated map. I paused it because I want you to hear this.
But then you go farther north. So Asheville, the flood of record in Asheville is in 1916 from two hurricanes. One, a Category 4 that came up from the Gulf, and the other was a Category 2 that came from the Carolina coast less than 2 weeks later. So it was a bang-bang thing where they had tremendous rain from one and then tremendous rain from the other. And so they added on top of one another. Well, what did we have this week?
The predecessor rain event, which brought nearly a foot of rain.
Nearly a foot of rain. Everything is saturated there.
It's going to be a lot of flooding.
To have this on top of it. So the folks there, the National Weather Service, Greenville, South Carolina, are
I'm going to skip back here because I want to show you this path when it first comes in. Just hang, stay with
I don't
right
think
there.
I've ever seen such a long corridor. Have you?
Look at this.
Level 4.
So it's a level 4. The red is level 4, and that is extreme. That's the top of the chart. And this is flooding. This is a flooding graph. It comes in right there at the left-hand side of the Big Bend of Florida, goes straight across Georgia into South Carolina, North Carolina, and that's the extreme flooding. Then you have the level 3 flooding into the state of Alabama, rest of Georgia, and then even as far west as Birmingham, where I'm from, you have the level 3 and level 2. But look at that swath of area all the way up to Nashville. I mean, that is a massive, massive flooding event that they are predicting that's going to happen. Now, who knows if it's going to happen that way? But that is a massive flooding map.
I mean, even if it was just the level 3, we would say that was incredible, right? And but so we have two parts to this. One is down in the Panama City to Perry, on up into central Georgia, and that's a big deal because they're also going to have hurricane force winds beyond hurricane force, up over 100 miles an hour, right?
Wow! So you say not only are they going to have the red area there all the way up until central Georgia, massive flooding, they're going to have hurricane force winds that far up as well.
But then you go farther north. So
all right, let's go back to live. All right, so commercial break. So, y'all, this is a big event. We need to pray for them. We need to pray for them. I'll say a quick prayer right now. Father, in the name of Jesus right now, I pray for everyone that's in the path of this storm, God. We take it very seriously. We're not belittling it. We just pray for the safety. We just pray that when this thing comes and goes, God, we just declare there will be no loss of life. There may be loss of property, but, Lord, we can rebuild property. We can't rebuild lives. So we just pray right now for the nation, United States of America. So back to my question as we come down off the backside of this mountain here tonight is what I like to call it when I'm preaching, is I want to know. I really want to know. I know some of you have already got it in here, so I'm looking like somebody needs to be blocked. It looks like we had some fun over there in the live chat, somebody trying to get in there. So if y'all see somebody, by the way, everything that's been going on with my father-in-law, you know, for those that don't know, my father-in-law just passed away Sunday night. One of the greatest man I've ever known in my life. So, you know, that's been priority over our life. I have intentions of replying to everyone that requested to become an admin. I'm about to assign several of you to be admins because CJ just can't be in here all the time. So some of you that are faithful to be here every time, going to make you an admin to help us manage because we're getting put in front of a lot of new people. And some people are nefarious, and some people want to come in and try to start a bunch of mess and try to bring this channel down. But we've got to keep focused. We got to stay focused. So if you haven't already done that, if you would like to be an admin, I'm not saying you got to do it all the time, but you can do it if you can. But I need people I can trust. I need people that are mature-minded, that are not going to just ban somebody just because they let a word fly that you might not like to hear. We want it to be an inviting area where people that may not necessarily believe the way we believe can come in. That's what we want to do. But when it gets into really serious verbal abuse, we need some people to help us on that. So the best way you can do it is go to LarryRagland.com. And when you go there, just click on the contact us and just let me know that you want to be an admin. Several of you have already done that. And I have that. I have everybody's name that did that. I'm going to put together an email. This is what my website looks like. If you want to do it, if you want to become an admin, just go there to our website. And when you get there, just click on contact. When you see at the top there, you click on contact, and just bring you to a form here. Just write down in the message that you would like to be an admin of the show, and I'll put you on that list. But also, while you're there, go ahead and click on this interview that I was with Charisma Magazine. Charisma Magazine interviewed me about my book, my testimony, the story about how the big picture came into play is all on there. If you haven't watched that yet, I sure would appreciate it. So what do you think? What do you think? Can the weather be manipulated? Do you think that there's any of that involved in this situation, especially because of Georgia? What do you think about what I said tonight about it's going to be really, really tempting for the current administration to swoop in after this and really, really, really try to turn some undecided voters in the state of Georgia and so forth? I'm not saying that's the case as far as the manipulation, but I can tell you this right now: the political intention is absolutely going to happen. They are going to take advantage of it. You remember what the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, said to begin with? He said, never let a crisis go to waste. And the Obama administration picked that up and used that. I think his name is John Podesta or somebody. He was one of the ones that said that when he was serving in the Obama administration. And we thought he came up with it. Well, lo and behold, he didn't come up with it. He was mimicking what he had learned at the World Economic Forum from Klaus Schwab and all of his minions. Never let a crisis go to waste. And they swoop in, they take advantage of it, and it's always for the betterment and for the protection of the people. It's always to help you. Don't you worry about it. You just take care of your family. Here's a check. All we need you to do is just sign right here. All we need you to do is just scan your finger right here. All we need you to do is just give us your personal information. Trust me, we're not going to do anything with it. We got to have that in order to get your benefits to you. Don't worry. Or maybe there's a lot of disease is happening here in your region because there's all this standing water, mosquitoes are everywhere. Just take this little wah jab here, and that'll protect you from all those little pesky mosquitoes. We care about you. Y'all, they do not care about you. The most dangerous thing you'll ever hear is, don't worry, we're the government and help is on the way. If they try to tell you help is on the way. Now, I'm not saying that they should not declare an emergency and send relief funds and all that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the manipulation that comes with it. They do not have your best interest in mind. I think we all know that. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm seeing now we got active tornadoes coming. Goofy Granny here. The question is that the same as a moderator? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Admins, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Facebook. Moderators is what I'm talking about. So admins, moderators, same thing. I need some help because this is a good thing. We're getting put in front of a bunch of people, getting a bunch of new people in here, and we need to be able to manage this thing, y'all, and keep it between the lines, y'all. Keep it between the lines, okay? Let's jump back in one more time, and let's see what they're saying about the hurricane actively.
You're right. The darkness adding another dangerous layer to this story that is already incredibly dangerous in its own right. Robert Ray, we're going to continue to follow your live shot. Things have certainly continued to go downhill as that heavy rain, wind is picking up. In Cross City, from where you are in Steinhatchee, just last year we had a dahlia that came in, was weak.
I hope they pay these guys that stand in the hurricane some good money. Because, man, I mean, these people in the studio, they're just talking. They're just all comfortable. Them dudes are out there. Oh, yes, it's here. It's here.
Most definitely. And believe me, there was an exasperation when we were talking to people yesterday and today, almost like you've got to be kidding me. This is happening again. In the course of 1 year, they've just been hammered in this area. And now this historic storm about to make landfall, an imminent landfall. The feeling that we got from the people we talked to is, oh my gosh, we have to pick up and evacuate yet again and remove all of our life and try to be safe while at it, and hope to God and pray that our homes are still intact when we come back. So this is very difficult for this region, and I just feel for them. Godspeed to everyone. And if there's anyone who's stayed on that coastline, oh wow, everybody say your prayers, even if you're religious or not.
Robert, absolutely. I mean, the power of this is still...
I'm not trying to be funny, but say your prayers even if you're religious or not. Well, if you're not religious, which I'm not religious, but I understand what he's saying, who you praying to? Who you praying to? You better know God. You better know God. And you better know the real God. You better know, contrary to what some people are trying to tell you, including the Pope, that there's many paths to God. No. There ain't many paths to God. There's one path to God. He made it very clear that he's the way, the truth, and the life. No man gets to the Father but by him. Can I get an amen? Woo! Good preaching. Good preaching, Larry. Good preaching. Yep. All right, so one more time, let's check in on this dude. He looks like he's literally about to jump out of an airplane.
And, you know, you're mentioning Fort Myers. When we started our coverage of Hurricane Debbie, which at the time when it was passing past Fort Myers, it was Tropical Storm Debbie, the people there continued to discuss the fact that they were getting surge even on times when there wasn't tropical depressions or storms. And they were wondering what exactly is happening. Well, some of that is sea level rise, and that is an issue down there. And it is something that I think needs to be addressed, especially in Southwest Florida, as it's the last thing they need, right? They just went through Ian 2 years ago, that historic storm. And now this, James.
It's incredible. You know, they try the beach replenishment projects and they try to put forth, you know, the best protective measures. But when you get a storm like Helene, it really is just a speed bump. In Cross City, Florida, Robert Ray.
500,000 Floridians without power at this moment, and it is 7:52 Central Time, 8:52 Eastern, and it is getting close to making landfall in this catastrophic event that they are calling an unsurvivable event. If you happen to be in the path of the storm surge, and you're just crazy enough, dare I say stupid enough, to stand out in the middle of the storm surge and take a video or whatever. And these people that I saw on video going out in this major, just unbelievable ocean trying to surf, y'all, that don't even make sense. Now these guys right here, look at these guys. Look how he's spread eagle. He's trying to hold himself up. But look at the plant. Look at I'm not making fun, but y'all, I've seen this guy. He used to be on the Weather Channel. He's the one that always was there. He left the Weather Channel to go to Fox Weather. But I want you to notice something. Let's go back to this. He is spread eagle like he is standing in the midst of 170 mile, just a 70 mile an hour straight line wind. If I was him, I would not be standing by that branch. I mean, that little bush there, little tree. Because look at the tree. It ain't even hardly moving. The rain is not even going sideways. But he's spread eagle. Why? Because it's all about the money. It's all about the money shot. It's all about, I got to look like I'm about to be knocked down to keep people watching so that we can play that commercial. Wow. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, major hurricane is hitting the state of Florida and is going to probably devastate parts of the Big Bend area of Florida, as well as the coastal area, or the southern part, I should say, of the state of Georgia, and then all the way inland, maybe all the way across the state of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, major flooding. one of the largest, weather people are saying one of the largest swaths of severe flooding warnings ever recorded. And, you know, what they say, okay, the wind's picking up a little bit. He's rocking just a little bit. But what they're saying, of course, this is climate. Some people are saying that it's geoengineered. Who knows? Look, it's died down now. It's hardly even blowing. But it is serious. I'm not trying to downplay it. So thank y'all for joining me tonight. What was Billy saying? That's the sideways rain Forrest Gump told us about. Yeah, exactly. I'm like I said, don't come at me saying, you know, hey, this is a very serious, life-threatening thing. I know that. You know, that's one of the things that we do here on this channel is, you know, we're not afraid to laugh a little bit in the middle of even terrible things, because you have to laugh sometimes. Because I just did a teaching the other night on this channel called Joy. The joy of the Lord is our strength. And when you have joy, your peace of mind is not based on good things happening and bad things happening. It's based on the Lord. For the joy of the Lord is our strength. All right, so thank you very much for joining us tonight on this special edition, Thursday night edition of The Big Picture, covering Hurricane Helene. Praying for everyone. Keep us in your prayers. This Saturday, we will celebrate the life of my great father-in-law. Pray for me. As many of you know, he was the first father figure of my life. And it's been very difficult for me because watching my wife and my family grieve and hurt so bad, because he's just a great man, just such a great man. But at the same time, we know exactly where he's at. There's just no doubt about it. But I'm going to have to preach the funeral. So it's going to be one of the most difficult funerals I've ever preached in my life. So pray for me. My daughter, his granddaughter, will be playing guitar and singing the same song that we were singing around his bed when he breathed his last breath and left this earth. There will be peace in the valley for me. And I will sing that song over this nation. There will be peace in the valley when you got God. Amen. Be blessed. We ain't woke. We certainly are awake. God, good night.
Would
Love
you like
y'all.
to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.